Hi, it's Mayor Kaufusi, and I am here in our beautiful energy building and going to do a Conversations with Kaufusi with my director, Travis Ball. And just one of the bright spots in the city is our energy department.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad to be here talking to you.
Yeah, just super important to the city, makes the city run, and again, one of these essentials. When we've been talking about the non-essentials and essentials and the employees that we can have work from home or whatnot, energy is a tough one because they're essential employees to keep the city running.
Absolutely. I think that is a driver of the economy is having energy. So
yeah. So talk to us. One of the questions. Well, first you got to tell us a little bit about yourself, Travis. You've got like how long you've been in the city or what. You were born on what day? No, I'm just kidding.
I've worked for the city for 20 years, but I started in '95. So I left for 5 years after I was the engineering manager for the city, and I went to be the director in Lehigh for 5 years, and then I came back. So I've been back 7 years, I believe.
So great. We're so glad we've
got
you.
So it's 20 plus years here for the city.
That's fantastic. And so tell us, what does the director of energy do? What is your job?
My job is to make sure the power's on, basically. So we have about 65 employees that work in the department. That includes line crews, also includes, we have an engineering staff, about 10 engineers and GIS staff. We have crews that take care of the trees in the city. Mm-hmm. So the arborist division is in our department. So it's a pretty wide range of responsibilities that come from the energy department.
So tell us all, this is a question that everyone is wondering, is how has COVID-19 impacted the energy department in Provo?
Well, it has impacted us significantly in the fact that we cannot get our employees sick, right? And so the one thing that we did do is we've separated our line crews, our field crews. We've sent half of them home, and they are doing online training. We have a online training program that's significant, so they have a lot of training to do. And so half the crew stay home, and then we swap out after each week. So right now, this is the second week, so the crews that were in last week are home now doing their training.
So just a rotation to help with keeping people apart. And
yes, we figure if one person gets the virus here, we can't shut down the department. We still have work to do, so we have to keep them separated. And we stressed that they needed to be separate out in the workforce, and we tried to keep the crews separate. But what would happen is they'd all come in after work at about the same time, and then we'd see them congregate. And as much as we tried to separate them, we felt the best role was to actually keep them separated at home.
That's really smart.
And we do have some work for them to do, and it's worked out well that way.
Yeah, it's hard because people are social, and people usually at work, those are your friends. That's who you spend the most time with, more than your own family. So you have these relationships. So we've had to address that as well to make sure that we keep the distance, and we're here to work and really manage it so that nobody gets sick. That's the goal. All right, so I've just got a couple questions that people have been asking about. So tell me, are the line crews and staff still working? You did talk about that. You're shifting out, which is a brilliant idea. The rotation idea is really a good idea.
And I think it's worked out well. And we do have, all of our engineers are also working, but they are taking appointments. And so you call in, get an appointment, and they can go out. It's interesting, they say the workload's actually increasing a little bit because I think a lot of people are trying to get work done. So contractors and developers are still asking questions. We're still laying out jobs for them. So there is still work to be done, but we are taking appointments for those with the developers and some of the customers.
That's
if
smart.
You want that, you can call in and they'll meet with you, social distance, but they can get your jobs done that way.
That's really smart. Okay, so talk to me about you guys do such a great job with pushing information out when there's a power outage in Provo. I mean, I follow your Twitter feed because you guys push it out so quickly and you always state why the power's out, how homes it's hit. I mean, you guys are really thorough, so thank you for doing such a great job with that.
And we try any outage that we have that affects over 50 people, we try to let the public know. If it's under 50 people, then we try to deal on a one-on-one basis. But when it goes out to Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, then it's over 50,
Yeah.
50 people. And we can ramp up very quickly on an outage.
Yeah.
Our goal is still to be the most reliable utility in the United States, and so that's kind of what we're working on. We try to...
That's such a wimpy goal. Can't
I
you do
know.
something harder?
That's our BHAG, our big, hairy, audacious goal. So we still try to respond as fast as we can. We have people on site during work hours, but there are still people on call. And if it's a large enough outage that affects enough people, we can call everybody back in a matter of an hour. So
That's amazing. So, will COVID-19 impact a power outage at any point? Do you perceive that? Or?
I don't think COVID-19 will impact any outages, and I think the reliability will be good. The one thing that we are doing, because we've had to separate the crews, is we've put off some of our maintenance jobs that we can delay on, but we're still working on all of our new development, any type of capital improvement project that we have to get done this year. We're still working on those projects. As far as outages, I don't think it'll be an effect. I am worried about next year. I'm worried about our budget next year,
Yeah,
and that's
sure.
kind of what we're working on. But I'm more worried about the commercial customers out there that are really struggling, and how they deal with not having their work right now.
Yeah,
So.
it's crazy. The unemployment is just going through the roof. It was a couple days, it was around for the state of Utah, 1,200. I think yesterday I was sent an email where it's over 3,000 have applied now for unemployment. So it's a real thing. It's going to impact us. So at least we're talking about it and trying to get ahead of the impact, the curve that's coming our way. Okay, so tell me, can I still get new electrical services to a business, home, or a development?
Absolutely. That's our highest priority right now, is to continue the new growth, the new jobs that are coming in. That's what the crews are focusing on.
Okay, how about talk to us about the trees. Are you
trees,
still pruning the trees?
We are still pruning the trees, and that's a very important part of Provo. I believe that's what makes Provo a beautiful city to live in, is some of the trees that we have. And so we are prioritizing our tree trimming to those areas that might be at risk or might be dangerous. But we still have half of our crews out there doing tree trimming and doing the work associated with planting trees also.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's just important to know that we're really trying, the whole city of Provo is trying to keep our employees employed. It's hard to send home an employee without a paycheck and say sorry. So I love that all the departments are working really hard to manage their employees and allow them to still take home a paycheck to cover their bills. And,
Absolutely.
And you're doing that just in a great way. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
so tell us, Travis, if there's something, is there anything else we need to know?
No, I don't think so. Just getting ready for next year. Hopefully this will be over in 2 months and we can get back to real life.
Yeah,
So.
get back to the normal, whatever
That's right.
normal is.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining me. You're just a delight and a great director, and
Thank you.
And we appreciate everything
You're a great
you do.
mayor.
Oh, thanks. And I love him.
Yeah.
And thanks everybody for joining us today on Conversations with Kaufusi.